From the big difference between their physical capabilities to even the fans thinking Biles is just leagues ahead of Chiles, here's why Jordan Chiles will never be as good as Simone Biles. Sure, the Chiles and Biles might look like they're just two peas in a pod, but the fact is that there's a significant difference between the two athletes. And honestly, some folks think that it's just too vast. Sure, it's been a while since Simone left the world of gymnastics. But her legacy and sheer skill are something that many fans think is going to remain untouched for quite some time. And honestly, even someone like Jordan, who's got a ton of skills of her own, can't seem to reach that level just yet. But that shouldn't really come as a surprise. After all 4 feet 8 inches of Biles were filled to the brim with exceptional strength. Not to mention, her muscle definition set her totally far apart from many other competitors, even the likes of Jordan. And let's not forget how amazing her physique was back when she was at the top of her game. You might even describe her as being compact, with her power-to-size ratio being extraordinary. While the intricate biomechanics behind her physical prowess were complex, the outcome is crystal clear. She performs extremely challenging skills with minimal form and landing errors, making her execution nearly flawless. And that's not even taking into account her flexibility, which, while not at an extreme level, was more than sufficient to help her execute her leaps and jumps with remarkable precision. And while Chiles definitely can hold her own, she lacks consistency. Sure, Chiles managed to clinch the silver medal in the all-around at the national championships, in only her second senior competition. And yes, she set the internet ablaze with her remarkable save on the balance beam. But here's where the story takes an unexpected twist. Even though she had proven herself as a remarkable talent, Jordan didn't find her name on the roster of the US team set to compete at the World Championships in Montreal. And as sad as that moment was for her and her fans, it also served as a reminder that she's got a lot of work that she's still got to do. Despite her earlier performances, Chiles ended up watching the international competition right from her own home, instead of getting the chance to perform for her country on the world stage. Folks think that it's her lack of consistency which resulted in her losing out on such a golden opportunity. And it's why she's still got to put in a lot more legwork before people are going to consider her to be anywhere near the level of Simone Biles. The problem is that at that moment, Jordan didn't take that as an opportunity to improve. Instead, she got pretty disheartened and thought that the sport didn't want her anymore. Jordan even lashed out against her former coach. Now, if there's one thing you know about Biles, her attitude is a fortress. After all, the kind of stuff she's gone through really does make her nothing short of a hero for even returning to the world of gymnastics. Biles has shown that she's more than capable of re-attaining her GOAT status. Just recently at the World Artistic Gymnastic Championships in Belgium, Simone showed a level of prowess that many people thought she was no longer capable of. But after taking home 4 gold medals, I think she's made it clear that she's still very much the undisputed queen of gymnastics. And honestly, I doubt anyone can really bring that into question anymore. Moving forward, Simone definitely looks like she's going to be focusing more on what she cares about instead of worrying about what fans or anyone else thinks. And that sort of attitude will certainly help her out a ton in the end. It's one of those things that Jordan should pick up on too. After all, if she's going to carve a career for herself in gymnastics, at least one as shining and amazing as Simone's, she'll have to be able to go with the flow, dealing with both the highs and the lows of the sport. Though it does seem like Chiles has been learning from the best. Simone kind of has been treating Jordan like her own prodigy. After all the way back in 2018, she offered Chiles to move to Texas so the two could train together at Biles' own gym. That's not an offer anyone would get. This meant that Jordan got the chance to practice under some of the best coaches in the business. And, well, it has given her the opportunity to hone her skills to be on par with Simone. Again, it's unlikely she's going to catch up with Biles just yet. But if there's anyone who's got a decent shot at doing so, it might as well be Jordan. It's a moot point in the long run after all. Finding someone who can match Simone is close to impossible, but Jordan might be the second best there is. Chiles eventually agreed to Simone's offer in 2018 because who wouldn't? And during this time, she learned a lot from Biles. Even little things like how gymnastics doesn't always have to be about strictness and being totally hard on yourself. It can be a fun sport, something you do for the love of it. And Biles really does show this. While she took a bit of a break from gymnastics, her return is as amazing as anyone could have hoped for. And deep down, it couldn't be clearer that she's just got a natural love for gymnastics that not everyone has. Because of this, it's hard not to understand why she's constantly the name that crops up whenever anyone thinks of the all-time greatest gymnasts. Her natural charisma, coupled with her exceptional talent and skill, has allowed Simone to remain at the top of her game for such a long time. And that's a title I doubt anyone's going to be able to snatch so easily, even Jordan. Plus, this whole story really does make it clear that Simone isn't just an amazing athlete, but also a great person. She's a real gem who allowed Jordan to shine by bringing her along and giving her the training she needed to excel. With how competitive the sport tends to be, seeing someone like Simone totally disregard that aspect of it and instead do it for the love of gymnastics itself really does make it clear why she's leagues ahead of everyone else. That said, you just can't forget the time Chiles came in clutch. Back at the Tokyo Olympics, people really got the chance to see Jordan for what she was truly capable of.
Certainly won't be easy.
If at that point someone made up their mind about her being a Simone replacement, I wouldn't blame them too much. After all, the way she was able to step up at the last second and really perform her heart out was something straight out of a movie. Now, picture this. Jordan Chiles stepping up as the first emergency substitute for Biles during the second rotation of the final, and it wasn't even on her strongest turf, the uneven bars. Just days after an admittedly shaky performance in the qualification event, she managed to pull off a score of 14.166. While this might be considered relatively low by American standards, it was still higher than the vast majority of the field.
She is out of bounds.
But she wasn't done there. Chiles went on to nail her surrogate role in the following rotation. Her score of 13.433 on the balance beam was, as expected, the lowest among the American contingent. But it proved good enough to outshine Russians Vladislava Urazova and Angelina Melnikova, who would later secure gold for the Russian Olympic Committee. Jordan's performance was truly amazing, especially when you consider the last-second nature of her preparations. It's kind of what made her into such an icon in the eyes of many people. Despite that, fans still feel she's got a long way to go. Even with such an amazing performance under her belt, fans feel that for Jordan to reach Simone's level, she's got to put in a lot more work. That's not surprising, but hey, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. While some might suggest that no matter how much she tries, she'll just never be as good as Biles, and who knows, they might actually be right. The fact is that you never really know how these things play out. And if there's one thing that's clear, it's that Biles has made sure to keep Jordan close, teaching her all the most important things about what it means to be a gymnast. So it's likely that with the right guidance, Chiles might just one day stand on even footing with Simone. So from even the fans thinking Biles is just leagues ahead of Chiles, to the big difference between their physical capabilities, that was why Jordan Chiles will never be as good as Simone Biles.